It's either a severe case of incompetence or an extreme case of arrogance. However, let's make one thing crystal clear. There was no gray area as to what happened last Saturday in Ann Arbor at the Big House. The University of Michigan had a massive communications failure. There's no other way to put it. And instead of receiving a spark at the most important position in all of sports, at quarterback, they left their signal caller, Shane Morris, dazed and confused and fending for his life after suffering a concussion. And as a result, the university now finds itself in a media and public relations firestorm. For Brady Hoke to assert that he didn't even see the concussion that Shane Morris sustained is a tad bit ridiculous. His players saw it, his coaches saw it, everyone in the stadium saw it, but somehow Hoke turned a blind eye to the situation happening on the field. And when you're the head coach of one of the most iconic and recognizable brands in all of college athletics and in North America, you're not afforded the luxury of crying wolf when something like this takes place. It's Hulk's responsibility to have his finger on the pulse of everything that happens with the Maize and Blue. But he failed miserably at one of his primary responsibilities, protecting his player from himself, especially when an injury situation such as this one occurs. The 4-9 record over his last 13 games is a fireable offense in itself for Hoke, and we should all fully expect a changing of the guard within the walls of Schembechler Hall, because Hoke hasn't lived up to the expectations as the leader of the program. However, with that in mind, the man who had selected Hoke to replace in an effective Rich Rodriguez administration in athletic director Dave Brandon shouldn't be left off the hook either. And here's why. Brandon completely undermined the authority of his head coach, especially if he knew on Sunday that Morris had sustained a concussion. Don't you think that would have been a piece of information that his head coach would have liked to have known before he went out on Monday to endure the live bullets of criticism and skepticism from the media, unless Brandon himself was intentionally trying to hide things from Hoke? His mismanagement and miscommunication of this entire public relations nightmare should have him on the chopping block as well. Brandon is more interested in turning the athletic department into a bottom line business and a business venture rather than focusing on what truly is important, the quality of the student experience and the health and wellness of the student athletes. And if newly minted University President Mark Schlessel wants to save face, he has to act now in removing both Brandon and Hoke, restoring the luster to the Block M and viability within the program depends on it. There is no question that there is a high level of friction between this administration, the student body, and some alumni, and Brandon has failed to bring them all together as one. And by Schlessel taking this immediate action, it's one step in the right direction in restoring the foundation of this fractured program. For the Two-Man Advantage Podcast, I'm Kevin McShan.